Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Upside Down Data. Some Memorial Day relief has come to the markets, with Bitcoin rallying up above 32K after starting the day at about 29,400. So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. This is the 4-hour chart that I have up here. And if you look at the bottom of the chart, you'll see I have two indicators pulled up. One of these is the RSI, and the other is the OBV. And the RSI shows that the price is at a pretty elevated level in terms of momentum right now. It's above zero point 0.8, which is usually considered overbought. And that indicates that in the short term, Bitcoin might be a little bit overextended and in need of a slight pullback or consolidation. Although, this is a pretty short time frame, 4 hours, so nothing to get too carried away about or too concerned about, but really just kind of showing the impressiveness of this move. It's taken the RSI up to these upper regions. If we look at the OBV, we can see some evidence, though, that this move might have legs to it. OBV stands for unbalanced volume, and this is calculated by adding the total volume transacted for all candles when the price goes up, then subtracting the volume for all candles when the price goes down. And so this is a momentum indicator. When it goes up, it indicates that buy volume is dominant. When it goes down, it indicates that sell volume is dominant. So when it's going up, that's a bullish signal because it indicates that the buyers are running the show. And when it goes down, that's bearish because it indicates that sellers are running the show. So what we see right now when we look at the OBV is that the price has been supported by an uptick in OBV. This means that this move has support. The OBV is showing that. I mean, you can also see that if you just look at the volume candles up here. We can see, again, these are 4-hour candles, that over the past couple of days, the moves up have been supported by substantial volume. Then when the price kind of consolidated, moved sideways, or pulled back a little bit, there was really no volume there. So there were no sellers coming in, mainly just buyers on the price action over the last couple of days. Now, if we pull up the weekly chart, we can get a sense here of just how badly this relief was needed. So let's scale this a little bit, and I'm going to get rid of the OBV here. And what we can see, and you probably know this already if you've been around for the past couple of months, is that it's just been an extraordinarily bearish period. Last night, Bitcoin closed its 9th consecutive red weekly candle, which is not just the longest streak in Bitcoin's history, but the longest streak by 50%. The previous record was 6 weeks in a row of red, and that was all the way back in 2014. So 8 years later, Bitcoin breaks that record, that dubious record of 6, going all the way to 9 weeks in a row. If you think of green candles versus red candles like flipping a coin, 50-50 odds, the odds of flipping 9 straight candles would be 1 in 512. Obviously, it's not like flipping a coin. The market has been trending and showing a strong bearish bias, so it's not really like flipping a coin. That's really just to try to convey how incredibly persistent this downtrend has been. No bearish rallies, no bounces, nothing of the sort, just all red all the time, pretty much until today. If the bottom is in, that's a big if still, and I'm not predicting that it is, but if the bottom is in on this wick all the way down to 25K a couple of weeks ago, then what we would have seen is that the weekly RSI bounced right off the same level that it bottomed at back in March of 2020, right about 33. You can see that, that weekly candle back in March of 2020 bounced right off of that level. And here, the same thing has happened. This has been a broad rally Most altcoins are in the green. Some have put in really impressive moves of 15, 20, even 25 or more percent. But Bitcoin still has been leading this move. Bitcoin dominance has been showing strength during the move. Let's pull up the Bitcoin dominance chart and we can see that. I'm going to get the volume out of the way and RSI. And let's also go down to the 4-hour so that we can see with a little bit more resolution. And what we can see is that Bitcoin dominance has been strong. And in particular, it increased with this most recent pump up over the last 4-hour period. It's now pulling back a little bit as Bitcoin does, and altcoins catch up a little bit. But this has been a bullish sign for Bitcoin relative to the US dollar and relative to the rest of the market. And that really makes sense. I think it makes sense to expect Bitcoin to lead the pack at this point in the market cycle. Price is still below the 20-week moving average, so this is bear market territory. And altcoins can still really get hammered if Bitcoin decides to put in a bearish day. If that happens tomorrow or next week or next month, altcoins can really get punished, especially as long as broader market conditions are still bearish, which they most decidedly are, even in spite of the price action that we're seeing today. Well below the 20-week moving average, and many indicators are in agreement that this is an accumulation phase and a bear market. So whenever the market recovers, we can expect Bitcoin to lead the pack for most of that recovery. And so I think it's a good sign to see that Bitcoin dominance is showing strength along with Bitcoin's move in price. So in terms of what comes next, it's premature to get too excited about today's move. I mean, for one thing, the stock market was closed today for Memorial Day. And so it's not clear whether the truly big players in financial markets and not just in crypto are going to agree with bullish direction in the market that we're seeing the market kind of adopt today. Equities could turn crypto right back around to the downside, is what it comes down to. So it'll be really informative to see how the market opens tomorrow on Tuesday. At the same time, I think that it's hard to be too bearish at this point. After such a never-ending slow bleed, like what we've seen for most of 2022, and especially for the last 2+ months in stock and crypto prices so far, after all that, at some point you would expect to see some mean reversion. When price moves really far in one direction, it usually overshoots its realistic levels in that direction. And so it needs to move back in the other direction some. That's what mean reversion means. And that still seems like it needs to happen some more for Bitcoin. It'll be interesting to see what happens, as I said, when the stock market opens tomorrow morning and liquidity flows back into the market. Then we'll have more of a sense of direction. That'll be a more reliable test of which direction we might be headed in over the next 2 days and weeks. But this is definitely encouraging from the perspective of crypto. Whether equities will allow crypto to recover is, I think, the big question. And that's really even a step removed from the question of whether the Fed and broader macroeconomic conditions will let equities recover. If equities recover, then crypto can recover. Crypto looks ready to recover, but it needs the conditions around it to allow for that to happen. So that's what we're waiting on. We'll keep an eye on things. And anyway, I hope you guys found this useful. Thanks for watching.